Today marks 434th day sharing lessons I learned and continue to learn with you. I hope these insights will inspire you, support dreams, help achieve your goals, really empower you to become the person that you want to become. Today, I want to speak about the best version of you, becoming a new version of you. And I think that we always are able to become better and better and better and new version, evolve, transform. But I think that there's a lot of challenges coming with new version of you. A lot of things will try to hold you back. Of course, there are internal things that might want to hold you back from really pursuing that new version of you. Even that new version of you could be better. But today we'll focus on seven external things that could hold you back. Sometimes it's a hidden breaks in your life, hidden breaks from really becoming that new version of you. And you're just trying so hard to develop yourself, to improve yourself, to become somebody meaningful, somebody, to become somebody in general. And there's external things that is holding you back. So what are those things? So number one is people around you, friends, family, coworkers. And I think that the most important part is sometimes when you really want to change, you want to improve, but the people who are close to you sometimes are the biggest enemies because they know who you were and they know how old version of you used to act, what kind of things they used to say, what kind of values, all the things. So for them, sometimes it's very hard to accept new version of you. It's almost like a stranger, and they don't want to learn about you from as a fresh person. And sometimes they're reminded it's not who you are, and those many statements, oh, this is not who you are. Do you remember who you are? And I think that sometimes being able to put yourself out of the bubble of your surroundings, of people around you, sometimes is essential to really build a core understanding. This is who I am right now. And I think that it might be that people who are closest to you are happy about old version of you because they are able to really take things from you, energy, maybe money, maybe resources. Uh, could be so many different things. And that means that we need to understand that sometimes when we becoming a new version of ourselves, we will need to let people go. Some people go. And I think that that's a good thing because only toxic people will be let go. And sometimes not toxic people, or that's probably the bad word, but toxic relationships, toxic dynamics. So the other person is not toxic, but dynamic that is created in this relationship, in this communication is toxic. And that's when we change a new version of ourselves, we're able to really walk away of that. Number two is social pressure and expectations. That means I think that it's very, very easy for people to label people, student, employee, self-employed, and I think that some of those labels could be great when it's very uplifting and encouraging, but labels could be very downgrading as well. Because it is easy to say, I'm an employee, I'm a worker, and you do not see yourself as a leader, you don't see yourself as a business owner, as an investor, as a seeker. I think that could potentially take away of you taking actions necessary to become that label, because labels could, as I said, downgrade you or could uplift you. So it means if you really accept some kind of label, that label is supposed to be to into growth. Because I don't know, even in a childhood when you're still growing, sometimes you buy shoes to grow into those shoes, or sweater to grow into. And I think that labels are supposed to be the same thing. That I'm growing into that a leader, that label that I'm going after. So social pressure could be for the benefit, but a lot of times social pressure is have a tendency to hold back people from really to become new versions of ourselves. Because labels a lot of times are created based on current situation, but we need to create labels that's based on future, based on things that we are becoming. Number three is cultural conditioning. I think that's very, very important to understand that culture is, again, sometimes we could really use culture as a good thing. But I think that the worst part is that culture um, is that 90%, 80% of people live very similar life. Maybe they have kept a different kind of jobs, but they have similar like time allocations from 8 to 5 at work, even though it doesn't matter what kind of job, then they come back, they exercise, they spend with family, and it seems very similar life. But for some people, it might be that it's different. But when your life is different, when you do things differently, at that moment you might feel that you are will be rejected. So then when you move from old version of you to new version of you, because you act differently, you move differently, you might feel that you might be rejected because of it, and that thought could really hold you back, even though that it might be that you will be actually rejected. But I think that is a protection rather than rejection. Number four is old environments and habits. That's again external thing that could hold us back from becoming a new version of ourselves. Because when we go into old locations, you remind yourself who you used to be. And we need to be very, very careful not to fall into old habits, because when you really try your old habit, that means there is something that is still in you that is reminding that old version of it, because you're not supposed to fall back in that old version. If you moved, that's it. Let's move to new version and a new version rather than go backwards. I know that it's sometimes easy to really for a couple of days go back to old version, but if it's a couple of days, that's all fine. If not, moving that for a week or a month or 2 months, that's why it's very, very dangerous sometimes go back to old place that you lived, spend with old friends who really see you as an old version of you, or habits that you used to have in the past. Number five is systems or institutions. So let's say that probably the best example is that when you have a job, 8 to 5, and you becoming a business owner, and your business requires more and more time, but job is very, very, very strict, and they don't allow you to really remove any hours from your work. So that means that this is potentially be holding you back from really investing more time in the business, because the employment is very strict, and you don't not able to really do anything about it. So sometimes we, of course, people will need to really find a way how to find another job that is more flexible, that people could really do business at the side. But again, this is could be a something that actually external thing holds you back from really becoming a new version of you. Number six is media, technology, negative input. Again, this is external things. Even news is negativity, and I think that's holding you back to really look into positive things, ideas, creativity, becoming a better version of ourselves. And I think that social media, again, where is the most dangerous is comparison. Because when we are going to become the best version of ourselves, new version of ourselves, that transition might take a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, and maybe a year. And you look into someone else who already made transition within a month. And you already 3 months, but you're still struggling to make that transition. And when you look into that social media and all, you start to compare yourself with other people, that takes away joy. The most important part, everyone said it 1,000 times, it will be repeated millions of times, is that we need to compare ourselves with ourselves, not with others. And that's where truly the beautiful part is in becoming a new version of ourselves. And the last one, number seven, is fear-based messaging, even from loved ones. And I think that that's the most danger from loved ones, because sometimes we are listening to loved ones the most because we respect them, we trust them, we think that they love us. But most important part to understand is that even though that your family members love you, they do not know the best for you. This is a very, very important lesson, and I think that is very, very important to understand that sometimes people really, parents, if you do not have experience in business, they not are good. They are not very good mentors in how to build a business. It's just how it is, and that means that, oh, this business is too risky. This is the business is the market is not that good. How do you know you're not have never built that kind of business, you never built a business itself? So it might be that your station, maybe your parents know the business, maybe it's different, but like we need to understand like who is credible to say, because a lot of times we start to listen to people who like us, love us, but they just do not have credibility to really share anything whatsoever. And sometimes even I think that when you look into social media, and I think that sometimes people get rejected by comments who are very negative, and I think they stop doing the right thing. And I think that we need to really become the best version of ourselves, new version of ourselves, and do the right thing no matter what society says, because they have no idea what's inside of us and what we are capable of. So I hope that you reflect as well, like how often do you really transition to a new version of you? I think that's very important to really make that new version of ourselves every single year. Maybe some parts of us, but make those transitions. Because I really love saying that Your best friend's supposed to understand you and learn about you every single year. Such a beautiful thing. And I think that we're supposed to say that five, when you look at you 5 years ago, you're supposed to look into yourself like, wow, I was such a stupid person. Not in a bad sense, but like there was so much growth potential for me 5 years, and I still have so much growth potential. So that means that if you look into 5 years and it's like, oh wow, I was very smart back then, 5 years ago, that means that maybe that you're going backwards, or maybe you're not growing at all, and that's why you still see yourself 5 years as an intelligent person. And I think if you grow fast enough, you're always looking to your past experience as something that you still are able to make it better. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.